He won't stop with the risky business. He almost went fully righteous monk. And Tom Cruise isn't even his real name. Who is this guy? We'll just let his famous exes do the talking. Before he was Tom Cruise, the world-famous movie star, he was a hopeful young actor from Syracuse, New York, named Thomas Maypother IV. Cruise was his middle name, and his agent suggested that maybe Tom Cruise had a better ring to it. As a new arrival in New York, Cruise landed the jackpot when he started dating actor Melissa Gilbert, who was best known for her role as Laura Ingalls Wilder on the 70s TV show Little House on the Prairie. The two linked up when Gilbert was 16 years old, and Cruise was 18. Reflecting back on the relationship, Gilbert said she knew Cruise before he ever changed his name. And as she explained on Watch What Happens Live, she was the breadwinner in the relationship, noting,
"I actually bought him his first set of dishes."
While he may have had trouble landing parts back then, Cruise had no problem landing one on the lips.
Good kisser?
He was a good kisser. I did not have sex with him. We
not.
made out, but honestly, there was no sex.
By this time, Cruise had a few entertainment credits to his name, and he was still living in New York with dreams of becoming a star. Similarly, young actor Heather Locklear was making a name for herself on the TV series Dynasty, which debuted in 1981. At least once, Cruise and Locklear went on a date, although Locklear claimed it wasn't really a date. As rookie actors, the two met while auditioning together for the same project. According to Locklear, Cruise was still relatively new to the city and didn't have many close friends. So they went out dancing one night, as she detailed on Chelsea Lately. While at the club, Locklear claimed that Cruise imitated the dance moves from his iconic scene in Risky Business, even doing the splits. Locklear didn't know whether to join him or sit back and watch, so she let Cruise continue dancing on his own.
That's what he does.
Not long after, Locklear linked up with lead singer Tommy Lee from the 80s hair metal band Motley Crue. And after 6 months of dating, the two married in 1986, according to People. In Cruise's breakout role in Risky Business, he becomes infatuated with the character Lana, played by Rebecca De Mornay. As a 19-year-old, it was De Mornay's first acting role, and helped kickstart her career as well. Though audiences ate up the strong chemistry between the pair on screen, the real-life relationship between the two actors was much trickier. De Mornay told Celebrity Page, "I thought he was very annoying when we first started. He was extremely annoying, but he came to grow on me." Actor Curtis Armstrong recalled that De Mornay was actually dating Harry Dean Stanton during production. Armstrong claimed that Cruise was involved in various flings around this time, but appeared to be infatuated with De Mornay. Eventually, the two connected. Armstrong wrote in his memoir, Revenge of the Nerd, it's no secret that Tom engaged in an intense affair during the shooting with De Mornay.
Let's go make love on a real train.
By the end of their romance, Cruise and De Mornay had been together for about 2.5 years. Singing legend Cher first became a star in the 60s for her duet, I Got You Babe, with Sonny Bono. Rolling into the 70s, the husband and wife duo starred in the TV series The Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour, until Cher filed for divorce. After Bono, Cher was linked with several guys throughout her career, including Tom Cruise. The two first met in 1985 thanks to Sean Penn, who co-starred with Cruise in Taps. Cruise attended Penn's wedding to Madonna and met Cher, who was 22 years his senior. As the singer recalled to the Daily Mail, then a bunch of people who were dyslexic were invited to the White House, and Tom and I are both dyslexic. We didn't go out till way later, but there definitely was a connection there. The two later dated, with Cher revealing to Oprah that she once lived with Cruise. But there were no hard feelings after the breakup, and Cher says the two remained close friends.
Out of all of your old flames, who was your all-time best lover? Where did Tom Cruise rank on that list?
Well, he was in the top 5.
Still, she did admit to the Daily Mail, I don't get what he does, that whole Scientology thing. I can't understand it. As a young actor, Mimi Rogers was an 80s darling, and by this time, Cruise was already a megastar. A few years before, a mutual friend introduced the two at a dinner party, thinking they'd be perfect together. As Rogers told the South Florida Sun Sentinel, you know how some people just come together and that's it? That's how it was for us. I just sorta was serious. After Top Gun hit theaters, Rogers had a feeling Cruise would soon become extremely famous. But as Cruise admitted to Rolling Stone, I don't know if I could get married. Right now, in my present state of mind, I don't believe so. His opinion quickly changed and the couple were married in 1987. Rogers said that she loved the safety and security of their relationship, as well as their low-key life. She told the Chicago Tribune, "We go to the movies, we go out to dinner, and we never have a problem. We're not really provocative." But 3 years later, the two divorced in 1990. Rogers later dished on what it was like to be with Cruz, especially in the bedroom, telling Playboy, "Tom was seriously thinking of becoming a monk. He thought he had to be celibate to maintain the purity of his instrument."
There has to be something more.
She also hinted that she was sexually unsatisfied with the actor. One of the toughest aspects of the relationship became the age difference, with Rogers being 6 years older than Cruz. Rogers admitted the tabloids were relentless in bringing it up. It should be noted that Rogers had previously been married to Scientologist Jim Rogers, and when Cruz and Rogers started dating, she was the one who introduced him to Scientology. Ironically, Cruz continued with the religion after the divorce, while Rogers walked away from it.
How could you ignore me like that? I wasn't ignoring you.
Post-divorce, Cruz had no issues finding love again, and it was during production of 1990's Days of Thunder that he first met Australian actor Nicole Kidman. Their connection was intense, and the two got married on Christmas Eve later that year. The couple jumped right back to work and continued to appear in projects as a real-life husband and wife. Their first movie as newlyweds was Far and Away. Explaining why she fell so hard for Cruz, Kidman told Vanity Fair, "He basically swept me off my feet. I fell madly, passionately in love. I was consumed by it, willingly, and I was desperate to have a baby with him. I didn't care if we were married."
Tom really supported me, and I'm so grateful to him for that.
After their wedding, the couple quickly started a family by adopting daughter Isabella in '93, and their son Connor 2 years later. But Stanley Kubrick's final film, Eyes Wide Shut, which starred Kidman and Cruz, would also turn out to be the last movie the pair would film as a couple. After 10 years of marriage, they divorced in 2001. Kidman claimed she was completely caught by surprise when Cruz wanted to end the relationship, telling Du Jour, "It took me a very long time to heal. It was a shock to the system. I was so impulsive and naive." The Scientology organization also blacklisted the then 33-year-old Kidman after the separation and labeled her a suppressive person in the eyes of the church, according to Vanity Fair. Following the success of Jerry Maguire, Cameron Crowe's film starring Tom Cruise, the director and actor reunited for their next film, Vanilla Sky. But while Penelope Cruz was the object of Tom's desires on screen, this infatuation spilled into real life. The romantically linked stars made their first public appearance together at the premiere of her film, Captain Corelli's Mandolin, where Penelope said, "It was special for me that he wanted to share it with me that way." The couple were together for 3 years until ending things in 2004. Looking back, the Spanish actor admitted that it wasn't lust at first sight, telling The Telegraph, "I've never fallen in love with someone I'm working with. If something becomes friendship, then maybe months later it becomes something else. But you can never know." Later, Penelope would go on to marry her co-star, Spanish actor Javier Bardem. Way back during a 2004 interview, Cosmo magazine asked Dawson's Creek star Katie Holmes about what her ideal wedding would look like. She said, "I used to think that I was going to marry Tom Cruise. 2 years later, in 2006, it happened." Cruz and Holmes held a private $3 million wedding ceremony in Italy. The newlyweds then became affectionately known as Tomcat, as Holmes told W magazine at the time. "I've found the man of my dreams. From the moment I met him, it just felt like I'd known him forever. I was blown away. He's the most incredible man. He's so generous and kind, and he helps so many people. And, he makes me laugh like I've never laughed. And he's a great friend." Cruz, meanwhile, was clearly over the moon with Holmes, literally jumping for joy on one of Oprah's sofas. He even brought out Holmes in front of the live audience. While some thought the intense affection might fizzle out, Holmes told W, "Tom and I will always be in our honeymoon phase."
You picked a good one, Keith. All right, I'm a lucky lady.
But while she claimed to be madly in love, Holmes ultimately asked for divorce, reportedly catching Cruz off guard. By 2012, the couple was separated, as Katie told People of their 6-year marriage. "I don't want that moment in my life to define me, to be who I am." Holmes later linked up with musician Bobby Wooten III, according to People. And as far as we can tell, Tom Cruise is still busy being very Tom Cruise.